The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd is one who lays down his life for his sheep. The hired man, since he is not the shepherd and the sheep do not belong to him, abandons the sheep and runs away as soon as he sees a wolf coming. And then the wolf attacks and scatters the sheep. This is because he is only a hired man and has no concern for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and my own know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for my sheep. And there are other sheep I have that are not of this fold, and this I have to lead as well. They too will listen to my voice. And there will be only one flock and one shepherd. The Father loves me, because I lay down my life in order to take it up again. No one takes it from me. I lay it down of my own free will. And as it is in my power to lay it down, so it is in my power to take it up again. And this is the command I have been given by my Father. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
During the time of Jesus, shepherds inhabit the fringes of civilization in Israel. They were considered as people with undeveloped capacity to distinguish between what is mine and what is yours. And because they were looked upon that way as people with undeveloped capacity to distinguish between what is mine and what is yours, they were looked upon like roaming thieves. And the nature of their job is such that they move around with the sheep. Therefore, they could not honor Jewish religious ceremonial laws. So they were also considered as religious outcasts. So this was how shepherds were looked upon during the time of Jesus. Very unlike the romantic, popular image of the shepherd in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew scriptures in Judaism. The shepherds, they have to endure the harshness of the wilderness as they accompany the sheep to look for green pastures. They have to endure the smell of the unwashed sheep. They do experience loneliness and danger. It was a very tough life. And so, these were the very people who also received the message of the birth of the Lord. In fact, they became the first witnesses of the baby Jesus. And this baby grew up, and then he looked out for them. These shepherds were considered outcasts of Jewish society. But the fact that Jesus could tell us that he is the good shepherd, that means when he was growing up, he made it a point to be with these outcasts and then also to learn about their life. and to notice that among these shepherds who are considered outcasts in the eyes of Orthodox Jewish society and religion, he realized these are people who really knew how to care for the sheep. Because of their familiarity with the sheep, somehow this shepherd knows the character of the sheep, able to distinguish them. I know my own and my own know me, Jesus said. That means he realized what it means to be a good shepherd. He was growing up and he also mixed with all these shepherds and he realized what it means to be a good shepherd, one who cares about the sheep. And by the fact that he talked about a wolf attacking sheep, he must have listened to the story of the shepherds, about what they encounter. If the wolf can attack sheep, the wolf can also attack the shepherd. That's why it's a dangerous job. So, Jesus reached out to the outcasts to understand what they were going through and saw and experienced the goodness in the shepherds. And he learned, this is how I have to care for the people whom I'm sent by my Father. And one way to describe is, I'm the good shepherd and you are my sheep. I know my own and my own know me. Belonging to God. That's what it's saying, my own. And this belonging means that Christ himself had a very close relationship with God the Father. And this closeness is what tells him, I have to be close to those whom my Father created through me. All of us, humanity, human persons. And this closeness is about God's love. The love is shown more in deeds than in words. This is not just about doing, but it is about life that is lived. A life that is lived interiorly first and then flows out exteriorly. A life that is lived interiorly first and flows out exteriorly, it means to say there are things within that is about the truth of God. Jesus himself is God who became human. The purpose is to reveal who God is, and means to say a love that is shown in deeds in the life of Jesus who became human for us, and calling upon the shepherds to be the first witnesses of his birth. And then he grew up, he says, I am the good shepherd. That means God has been looking out for us, watching us. And so he has to reveal the truth of who God is. It is about a love that saves. A love that saves is one that can give, that can make sacrifices. And one that makes sacrifices so that we can be made whole again and healed. As we hear in the first reading, the man healed. And that's precisely why God came to save us. There's a healing deep within us that is needed as we live our life day in and day out. There's someone we can turn to. And so, the depth of this love is revealed. We are his sheep, and not just his sheep, but we are also his children. That means God don't just create us, put us here on earth, and then he's the creator who sits up there and sees us from above. But he is one who walks with us as a good shepherd walks with the sheep and is with the sheep, as God sent his Son to become one of us to walk with us. And so we see God calling us His children, and these children means we belong to Him, we are His own, and because we are His own, we are given the capacity to know who God is, and when we know Him, we realize He is our own. That's what it means. He is our own because we are first His own. So close, we are called His children, His sons and daughters. And sons and daughters coming from mommy and daddy also know mommy and daddy. What is in them also is from mommy and daddy. So it is from God. We call God our own because He first called us His own. And since that is the relationship between God and us, a good shepherd and sheep, a father, the giver, and we are His children, so He continues to be one whom we can always turn to. And therefore, He says there are other four that He has to attend to. Who's the other four? As He addressed this to the people in the community, He also addressed to all of us who are actually the future generations of believers. God is one who crosses all ages. And therefore, when He says other four, it is referring to all of us who receives Him by our belief. We are that future generation, and also remembering the generations after us. That means to say we have to bring Jesus to the next generation. We have to talk to children about Jesus. We have to let them know how He is the good shepherd who continues to watch over us. And how does He watch over us? He watches over us by giving us His words for us to remember. We hear the word Holy Spirit in the first reading. The Holy Spirit helps us to remember, and in remembering Jesus' word, the Holy Spirit teaches us. And so God watches over us through His words that can guide us. But we have to be receptive. And for us to be receptive, we first have to remember. And as we remember, we seek to understand. As we seek to understand, the word break up, and so we allow God to teach us as we face life circumstances. With courage. And as a shepherd faces danger, we too, in experience of life, we do face challenges. We do fear. But when we turn to Jesus, the first thing that we do is to turn to Him with courage. Courage is courage when we experience fear. You say we are courageous and we don't experience fear, then when we really experience fear, we like courage. But when we meet fear with courage, then we know that the courage grows. And when we turn to Jesus, the first thing that He does is courage. And He expresses His courage as what? Peace be with you. He always tells us, stay calm. That's what a good shepherd does. When he sees the wolf coming, he stays calm and thinks how he's going to deal with that wolf coming for my sheep. So the calmness of the mind, that's why I say, peace be with you. Remember, the apostles were very fearful after Jesus died. And every time when Jesus greeted them, He says, peace be with you. That peace that flows and expresses itself in courage. Because why? He is the God who can lay down His life and can take it up again. He laid down His life to break open and show us the love of God that saves us. And this salvation is real because He has resurrected. And He says, peace be with you. The power to take it up means that He is God, and by the fact that He is a God who is a good shepherd, He is with us right now and among us.